You ever notice how most bad habits start with one of your friends saying something like, "No, but this one's different"? For me, that was nicotine. Specifically, nicotine pouches or Zins or entrepreneur crack, depending on who you're asking. And I fell for it harder than I'd like to admit. So here's the sales pitch. If you've been anywhere near a podcast or YouTube short in the past 2 years, you've probably heard the benefits. Nicotine apparently is the ultimate productivity cheat code. Improved focus, elevated dopamine, enhanced memory, maybe even a buffer against cognitive decline. All wrapped up and endorsed by some of the most influential voices in health and performance. Andrew Huberman among them. And listen, I respect Huberman. I've watched a lot of his videos. I've experimented with a lot of his hacks. I've even tried mouth taping, though my wife wasn't thrilled about waking up next to what looked like a hostage. So when I heard him casually mention the neuroprotective benefits of nicotine, well, didn't take much convincing. I mean, if the neuroscientist says it's good for your brain, who am I to disagree? Besides, it's not like I was smoking a pair of Marlboros. It was cleaner, more modern, the Silicon Valley version of nicotine. Minimalist packaging, Scandinavian branding, all very chic. And I wanted to believe the hype. I really did. But like a lot of people, I started dabbling in college. The big vape clouds that were trendy back then. I told myself it was harmless fun. A phase, nice donut flavored vape. Something I could drop whenever I wanted. Except I didn't drop it. I graduated from those thick vape pens to Juuls, from Juuls eventually to pouches. It was like climbing the corporate ladder of addiction. Each step felt more efficient, more discreet, yet more addictive. Before I knew it, there was a pouch in my mouth almost all day long. First thing in the morning, during work calls, at the gym, watching Netflix at night. It wasn't even conscious after a while. It was just automatic. And the benefits, let me tell you the truth that no one likes to admit. Once you're hooked, nicotine doesn't sharpen your focus. It doesn't elevate your cognitive performance. It just makes you feel normal again. You're not climbing higher, you're clawing your way back to zero. But when you're in it, you can't see that. So to be fair, the science isn't entirely fabricated though. Nicotine does have some legitimate effects on the brain. Stimulates acetylcholine, which plays a role in learning and memory. It releases dopamine, that little chemical responsible for motivation and pleasure. It triggers norepinephrine and epinephrine, giving you that quick jolt of alertness. Sounds great in theory, but like most things in life, the dose and the context matter a whole lot. What starts as an occasional boost turns into a chronic dependence, and that's when the house of cards collapses. Chronic nicotine use leads to a dopamine deficit. Your brain stops producing it naturally, which means your baseline mood tanks. You enjoy life a little less. Small pleasures become muted. Nicotine also constricts your blood vessels. That's why your hands and feet could get cold. It impairs blood flow to your joints, your brain, your vital organs, slows recovery, increases your risk of injury. Studies show long-term nicotine users experience higher rates of erectile dysfunction, increased risk of cardiovascular disease, and significantly impaired gum health. And it hijacks your nervous system, constantly putting you into a low-grade fight or flight state. It's like your body's always bracing for a lion attack while you sit at your laptop scrolling emails. Over time, that's going to drain you. Your sleep's going to suffer. Your libido's going to tank. Your motivation flatlines. And ironically, the thing you started using to boost productivity starts slowly killing it. But hey, at least you've got your pouches. Just pop another one in and the cycle continues. And for me, it didn't all collapse at once. It was very subtle, like a slow leak in your tire. You only notice it when you're stranded on the side of the road. I started being extremely anxious if I didn't have a tin in my pocket. Panicked runs to the gas station as soon as I ran out. There was something wrong. My sex drive, which historically had been decent, to put it mildly, gone, kind of flatlined. My mood, let's call it fragile, to be generous. I was irritable, anxious, and completely dependent on those little pouches to feel vaguely human. And the worst part, I was lying to myself about it all. I told myself it was a productivity tool, that it helped me focus, that it gave me an edge. In reality, it was draining me dry, and I couldn't see it until I stepped back. I've had my blood work done during this phase. Testosterone fine, estradiol maybe a little high, prolactin a little high, libido dead, energy not where I want it to be. And my sleep, there is a little bit of insomnia that comes from popping, 10 pouches a day. So I wish I could say that I quit the first time and I never looked back, but I'd be lying. I've quit nicotine several times, and it never really stuck. Always found my way back, rationalizing, negotiating, bargaining with myself like some nicotine-addled lawyer. Just a few on busy days, only when I need to focus. It's better than smoking. Throw one in if you have a beer. Sound familiar? And here's the other sneaky part of nicotine addiction that no one tells you. It attaches itself to your wins. You have a productive day, you remember the pouch. You close a deal or a sales call, you celebrate with a pouch. You write a sick email or a good newsletter, guess what? It's pouch time. Over time, your brain starts wiring success with nicotine. You build an entire reward system around this tiny, poisonous crutch. So here's how I actually quit. First, I purged the house. Pouch is gone, no backup supply, no just-in-case stash. Then I replaced them, not with something equally addictive, but with the lesser evil, which for me is nicotine gum. 4 milligrams, in a flavor so vile it actively discouraged me from enjoying it. I used it liberally at first, just to kind of stabilize. Then I started tracking my intake, slowly tapered down, delayed my first dose each day, hid the rest of the gum in the basement where I had to practically spelunk to retrieve it. Leaving the house, the gum stayed behind. I also added some supplements as well to rewire my brain. N-acetylcysteine, or NAC, 1200 milligrams every morning. Helps regulate cravings and also supports dopamine recovery as well. Then the other magic one is L-theanine, 200 to 400 milligrams whenever the cravings got intense. It really blunts the reward of nicotine, which made it feel kind of disappointing, to be honest. Which, trust me, helps a lot. The first 3 days were brutal. No sugarcoating that. Energy tanked, focus vanished. I was cranky, tired, and mildly useless. The sleep, actually impossible. My sleep had kind of been not great for months thanks to late night nicotine hits, and the first few nights without it were rough, but worth it. After a week, I started noticing something incredible. I was falling asleep naturally, staying asleep, waking up feeling pretty good. And once you get through this withdrawal, it's like a fog lifts. I wanted to train hard again, not force myself, not grind through it. I just wanted to. My energy returned. Real energy, not the jittery, chemically induced focus of nicotine, but a grounded, sustainable drive. Sleep improved. Libido bounced back. Food tasted good. Music sounded better. Even simple things like walking my dog, going for a jog, felt satisfying. My mood stable. My confidence back. And at the gym, I couldn't get enough of it. Sex drive, it was good. The brain fog that had crept in during my nicotine binge lifted completely. I didn't need pouches to be productive. I needed to get out of my own way. So the truth is that nicotine is not pure evil. It has medicinal potential, and I'm not here to pretend otherwise. But for 99% of us, I don't think it's medicine. It's an addictive little parasite dressed up in biohacking jargon and Scandinavian marketing. It seduces you with promises of focus and performance, but in the long run, it ends up bankrupting your energy, your mood, and your motivation. And the scary part is most people don't realize they're addicted. It really sneaks up on you. 1 pouch becomes 5, 5 becomes 10, and suddenly you're budgeting your life around your next hit. And the worst part, you convince yourself it's helping. Ask yourself, if it's so great, why do you feel like death when you stop? That's the difference between a tool and a trap. Nicotine is the trap. If you're not hooked yet, don't start. Seriously, you are not missing out. If you are, know that quitting is hard, but staying stuck is harder. It quietly steals your drive, your passion, your health, drip by drip. And on the other side, life actually feels good again. Real focus, real energy, real satisfaction. You don't need nicotine to feel sharp. You just need to remember what it feels like to be normal. And normal, as it turns out, actually feels pretty darn good when you take care of yourself. End of the day, yeah, it's poison. It's just wearing a nicer outfit than it used to. But at the core, same old story. Just took me a few years and a few hundred pouches to believe the label.